What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge is now seeing it finally coming out, guys. The moment we've all been waiting for in this breaking news update coming from Donald Trump. He's made an announcement on who he's selecting as his vice president, his running mate, as he takes on the White House later on this year, guys. I know there's been tons of speculation and guessing on the subject, but no one has been able to guess exactly who it's going to be. We have to wait to the moment. So excited to check this one out, see exactly who Donald Trump has in mind, who he's pointing towards or heading towards in this newest update. So I'm gonna get straight to the clips, and I'll say my thoughts for the back end, guys. So definitely stick around to the end just to get my thoughts on the back end. And also, YouTube pushes this video out. Definitely stick around until the end, you guys. But let's get straight to the news. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys hit that like button for me and also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey, yo. Let's get into it, y'all.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Alright, so revisiting the story, or I guess you could say the story continues, the 2024 Trump Veep stakes. The question that everybody's asking, who's gonna be Trump's partner in crime? And whoa, slow down there, leftoids, I didn't mean literally partner in crime. You could imagine the headline, dangerous, controversial alt-right figure admits that wannabe dictator Trump needs a partner for his criminal activities. Slow the frick down, fake news leftoids. It's called a figure of speech. Who's gonna be the Robin to Trump's Batman? Well, we don't know exactly who yet, but the list is certainly narrowing down. And we've also got some very influential figures making their pitch, or I guess lobbying for their preferred candidate. Let's take a look, of course, have a conversation. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so these headlines are dropping fast. A couple days ago, I was reading that Donald Trump had narrowed down his list of potential VP picks, and I think the list was down to maybe 7 or 8 picks. Well, already an updated headline hits this morning. This is from Martin Walsh at the Conservative Brief. Trump has supposedly narrowed down Veep stakes to these 3 contenders. According to this report, former President Donald Trump, the likely Republican presidential nominee, is choosing only 3 possible running mates, according to a new report from CNN. Following a video of Trump saying that he had already made up his mind about who he would pick but hadn't told anyone yet, Trine said that she thought he had narrowed down his original list to a much smaller group. There's so much speculation right now and a lot of anticipation over who Donald Trump is going to ultimately select. And this is the language we've heard Donald Trump say for a while. He's often said that he knows who his choice is going to be. However, from my conversations with Donald Trump's team, they're still not completely, or they haven't come to a formal decision yet on who he's going to select as his running mate. What I do know is that he has really narrowed down his list to 3 top contenders. This is Doug Burgum, J.D. Vance, and Marco Rubio, all people that they believe currently are at the top of his list. But of course, this is Donald Trump we're talking about. Whenever we try to predict who a candidate will pick for VP, it's always a difficult task. It's even harder with Donald Trump. And again, when I talk to his team, they say he is someone who changes his mind every day based on who he speaks with over the phone. And so until he formally makes his announcement, Donald Trump can change up his mind until the last minute. So that's the report on Trump's Veep stakes. According to a source internal within the Trump campaign, as it currently stands, supposedly Trump's got his eye on 3 candidates: Doug Burgum, J.D. Vance, and Marco Rubio. Now, my personal opinion here, I'm more in the Vivek Ramaswamy, Byron Donalds camp, but practically speaking, or even strategically speaking, I get why the Trump team wouldn't want to go that direction, considering Vivek's a little rough around the edges and obviously an unproven political talent. And of course, Byron Donalds' age, he's a young guy, just kind of jumped in the political scene. Not to mention a couple rather insignificant legal issues that he had when he was younger, which of course is going to be used in a political mudfight. I understand the thinking, but also at the same time, I don't think you could really go wrong here. If this report is correct and the decision is between Doug Burgum, J.D. Vance, and Marco Rubio, you can't really go wrong. Those are all decent choices. J.D. Vance, of course, is a little bit fresh on the scene, but he's got the whole icon of the working class thing going for him, which of course could be a very powerful tool. Now, Marco Rubio, this guy at this point is a seasoned politician. He's young, energetic, well-spoken, talented in front of the camera, and of course he appeals to Hispanic voters. Not a bad choice either. And then there's Doug Burgum, another I'd say proven talent, and really lately he's been showing those talents. To be honest, it feels like this guy came out of nowhere. For the most part, he had no name recognition. He wasn't even in the conversation then post-debate period after the primary process. He's been doing the media rounds, I guess you could say, at auditioning for the part of vice president, and he's gone from relatively unknown to now a top 3 contender.
I spent my career in technology. I knew a lot of super hardworking tech CEOs, but nobody works harder than President Trump. I mean, the number of speeches he gave, the number of hands he's shaken. His hand, literally, like people shaking his hand so hard, he's got it bruised, but the guy just keeps on going. And roundtables, talking to people about the issues that matter to them, listening and curious and digging in. I mean, it's impossible to imagine Joe Biden doing one of these events, much less back to back to back to back for 72 hours.
Well, I think President Trump's going to have a terrific debate performance. But one thing I've said, the First Lady, Catherine, and I wish every American could see President Trump the way we've seen him the last 6 months. He's genuinely, exceedingly funny.
Joe Biden was so good at lying to the American public that they ended up with social media companies and others squashing any story. That is election interference. No one is better than President Trump at drawing attention towards his campaign and the issues. Well, I think, again, part of where this word has come from there's been a nonstop media attack on President Trump.
So he sits in the courtroom all day. He works all night. No one works more tirelessly than him. And I'll tell you, having a chance to be with him on Trump Force One, I can tell you one thing. Everybody on that plane, doesn't matter. You leave Iowa at midnight and you're flying back to the East Coast, 2.5-hour flight. Nobody shuts their eyes. Nobody has even a single beer. Everybody's working. They got their nose down. This is the hardest work. If he was just still a CEO, he'd be the hardest working CEO in America. But he's been the hardest working president we've ever had and will have again. And he's working for all of you and for all of us.
Look, maybe Trump likes what he sees, and apparently he isn't the only one. Kevin O'Leary also chimed in.
When you start to think about a vice president, you never really consider them having the necessary need of executional skills. Now, I've worked with Burgum, and this is just serendipitous. Years and years ago, I'm in Los Angeles taping season 16 of Shark Tank. 10 years ago, I did a deal up there called PRX Performance in Fargo. I'd never been to Fargo, North Dakota. One of the most successful deals in Shark Tank history, gym equipment manufacturer. And Burgum said to me then, why are you not putting more money into my state? We have fantastic entrepreneurs. And so I started doing that. I've been going to North Dakota for years now, and I've seen what he can do with execution skills. His track record is unbelievable in what he's done for the state. Very few Americans know that the richest citizens in the country for sovereign wealth are people that live in North Dakota. Doug Burgum did that. You wish, living in California, New York, anywhere else, that Burgum was vice president and did that for your constituency. He really took that state to the top of the pecking order. That's execution skills. That's what a governor does. They're the CEO of a state. So I'm a huge advocate for him, and I'd love to see Trump bring him in to the portfolio. I'll tell you why. Trump himself admitted that in his last tenure, his last mandate, he made some mistakes on who he brought into cabinet. Burgum is not a mistake. Burgum could be the get-it-done guy. You know, Trump is bombastic. He's the vision guy. But he needs execution skills. He could say to Burgum, go fix the border, go fix energy, go fix anything. That's what Burgum does. I don't see that skill set proven in any other candidate.
You know, supposedly the guy's a stud. The proof seems to be in the pudding. Doug Burgum's the governor of North Dakota. I did a short, intensive study into the state, and the conclusion across the board, I don't think there's any argument there, is that North Dakota is objectively an extremely well-run state. I mean, in a way, the way I look at it after my analysis, it seems as though the state's a well-oiled conservative machine. Governor Burgum was elected in 2016, and since then his government's focused on creating a business-friendly environment. They've focused on increasing oil production and energy production, making significant strides in reducing natural gas flaring. They also happen to be a leader in wind energy production and a leader in agriculture. Essentially, it's a state that's producing commodities. In other words, it's a productive state. But not only is the state producing, they're also attracting investment and creating new jobs and innovating. They do well in education, cost of living, economic growth. They balance the budget. Their unemployment rate is one of the lowest in the nation. The state is a well-run conservative machine. At least that's the conclusion that I come to based on a preliminary analysis. I'm not saying this to shill for the guy. I just listened to Kevin O'Leary's pitch and basically looked into it, and I think he's got a point. Doug Burgum may be the unsung hero, you know? The diamond in the rough. But anyways, just to slowly wrap this thing up here. Basically, TLDR, according to the reports, Trump's got his eyes on Marco Rubio, Rubio, Doug Burgum, and JD Vance, all suitable picks, suitable contenders. I think a lot of people were expecting Trump to pick a VP of color. Last week, I think there was a report about him choosing Ben Carson, but I'm not exactly sure where that report came from. This report seems to suggest that Donald Trump isn't really interested in playing identity politics and trying to pander through skin color. It seems as though he's prioritizing experience and age, and maybe larger voter segments, like JD Vance for instance, who obviously has his thumb on the pulse of the working class. Then of course Marco Rubio with Hispanics, Doug Burgum, I guess, with independent white suburban folk. So that seems to be the current thinking, that seems to be where we're at. Of course, take it all with a grain of salt, it's all just the reporting, but it really wouldn't surprise me, especially with Doug Burgum's name coming up, because I mean, he's been flying. The list is obviously narrowing, and that's basically the latest update.
Yo, there we have it, guys, coming from our friend Liberal Hive Mind. I'll definitely be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below for those who want to go over there and check that out. Also, you guys go over there and show our friend Liberal Hive Mind a bit of love. Yo, there we have it, guys. We're inching closer and closer. I feel like we're on the edge of our seats. You know, this is the biggest cliffhanger. I'm waiting for Donald Trump's announcement on the running mate VP choice later on this year when he takes the White House, guys. We got CNN reports saying that he's narrowed it down to 3 candidates. I don't know how reliable, or, you know, I would take this with a grain of salt. You know, maybe they've got a little bit of intel from Trump's team, but this is also CNN, so I'm not sure how much of this we can, you know, take as factual and true. There are reports stating that Trump's narrowed it down to Marco Rubio, Doug Burgum, and JD Vance, guys. Honestly, not sure what's changed this much from, you know, this week to last week, where, you know, we're seeing Byron Donalds is not even in the top 3 anymore. But then we did see, you know, the update saying that, you know, Trump is kind of just on the fence about who he's choosing. It's day in and day out. You know, it's day to day who he's got, depending on who he's talking to and the narrative of the conversation. So it does seem like, you know, his thoughts kind of fluctuates, or his decision fluctuates from candidate to candidate. He's just bouncing around. So I don't feel like any of this is solid yet, set in stone. But we do have the top 3. I don't know if Marco Rubio deserves to be up there. I've seen a lot of, you know, remarks, comments saying that this guy is a total traitor and a rhino. He's not who he says he is. So I think we can move Byron Donalds up to the top, pull him in a spot, at least at number 3, guys. You guys definitely hop in the comment section, though, and let me know your thoughts. We got 3 candidates. I'm still going to, you know, lean towards Byron Donalds being up there at that top 3 spot. You know, bump Marco Rubio out. You guys gotta hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Who do you think he's going to end up ultimately picking, guys? Even if he's not amongst the ones we discussed, who do you guys think? Definitely hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that share button and share this out to as many Facebook friends as possible, guys. Share the truth. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button. Doesn't cost one thing. You guys hit that like button for your boy, and also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next week.